Link, just kind of first impressions working with Coach Edwards. What's he kind of taught you so far?
Yeah, I mean, I knew Coach Edwards in high school. He was at Eastern. Kind of was a big recruit over there at Eastern when I was in high school. But that guy's just such a great mentor, such a great coach, such a great person. But most of all, he's just been teaching us the basic fundamentals. And the more we can master our fundamentals, then we can get creative. And once we get creative, and sometimes we want to skip the process and then get to the creative part, which because it's super fun and we want to open up and paint art and do the best thing as a receiver. But mastering the fundamentals is definitely the part of the process, and that's what he's been preaching ever since he's been here. So once we get that down, then things will start opening up and we can start playing free.
Kind of same question with Coach Arbuckle and just kind of learning his offense and kind of what he wants out of you.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Arbuckle, it's a lot of similarity from last year's offense, but there's a lot more options and freedom in the route running. There's a lot more, process thinking that we have to be as receivers, a lot of running to space in the slot. But overall, he's been a great mentor for these young guys, been a great mentor for the old guys, pretty much the whole offense. But what I like about it is if we have a bad day, if we have a mess up on something, he's not overreacting on stuff. He's, how can we get better? How can he coach better? How can the staff be better so we can, as players, be better and ultimately play free and go out there and ball?
Whole lot of new receivers in that room. You got a couple transfers, you got a JUCO guy, and then of course you got the youngster in Carlos. Just what have you seen from those guys? How have they kind of immersed themselves in your room?
Yeah, just the mindset. They, coming in sometimes as a transfer, it can kind of be tough to adjust to a new spot, new coaching style, new room, new culture. But those guys have came in with the right mindset, willing to learn and get better. And I think our culture in our room has grown since last year with the new pieces that have came in. I think we're able to talk freely in the room. We're able to open up to each other and learn from each other because you learn from each other's mistakes so we can get better each and every day. But those guys have done a great job of just coming here open-minded and being a sponge and soaking up everything. But they've also done a great job of showing up to practice and making plays. I'm excited for the future.
You guys pretty much have the market cornered on Mountain West transfer receivers. 4 different schools now.
Exactly. I know. The first day, Kyle and Kales, they was talking about, hey, they better take notice of the Mountain West guys, and it's just a nice reminder to know where you came from. I also came from the Mountain West as well, so it's a little bit of a chip on our shoulder, which I kind of like. We bring that culture to the room, so it's definitely going to pay off in the season. You're going to see a lot of people making plays from different positions, different guys making plays, but overall, I think this receiver core is going to be one to watch for sure.
Obviously, the on-the-field product, right now is very important. But how important is it at this time to kind of also do the the team bonding, the gelling, getting as a one cohesive unit?
Yeah, it's definitely crucial, especially during the spring. You get these young guys that get a lot of reps during the springtime compared to the fall camp. But right now, it's all about culture and connection. Connected teams are dangerous, and that's what Coach Dickert preaches every single day. And it's not what we do on the field; it's how we're meeting in our meeting room. Our guys come in with the right mindset to the meeting, willing to learn, or are they just sitting there wasting time? And we try to talk about it every day. You're super grateful to be out here. It's a 1 in a million chance to even be on this field. And I think being outside of football and being with the guys, whether it's in someone's apartment or going out bowling, whatever it might be, Coach Dickert does a great job of making sure that we're building connections off the field so that when we get on the field, you can trust that brother right next to you.
This one might be a little out there, but how much do you guys see that happening for the coaching staff as well, as the coaching staff kind of learns how to feed off each other and relay the information?
That's a great question. I think this coaching staff has a lot of connections from being at previous jobs, and there's a lot of guys who have worked together before, and a lot of guys who are in-state guys. Like Coach Edwards, Coach Schmed. They're from Washington, so they kind of get the process of being on this side, being the underdog type of team. And I think that we've brought in pieces to this puzzle that have fit the mold of what it takes to be in Pullman. And I think if you do that, I think you need to do that in a place to be here and to succeed, because if you don't have people who fit this type of mold, then it's going to be a hard place to live and a hard place to coach, because it's very tough here. But I think the guys that we brought in embrace those intangibles of what it takes to be here and be a Coug, and I think that pours down to the players as well.
Lincoln, there's changes every offseason, but just working with Cam, his second year, for his first full year here, really, just what differences do you see from last spring to this spring?
Just the confidence, being a more vocal leader, knowing that he is the guy that we look to when things go down, so he needs to step up in that accountability phase. And I think just being more vocal and knowing that he can make every throw on the field, knowing that he's trusting his technique and kind of getting out of that comfortability when he was with, Coach Morris, coming from an FCS level, having, a big talk behind his name. But now I think it's just him wanting to prove it to himself. It's not about the critics. It's not about, people saying this about Cam Ward, this and that. I think he wants to win, and that's the difference this year is he wants to win, and he wants to be the guy that people look for, and he wants to get guys in the right place, get guys lined up, and I think this offense commands him to do that. Last year it was kind of on the coaching staff to get guys lined up, but him now he's calling the shots, he's calling the signals, making sure everybody's lined up. So I think just from a leadership standpoint and just the total command of the offense, I tell him every day, speed of the leader, speed of the pack, and I think he's really embraced that role, and it's only sky's the limit for that dude.
What's it like to have an offensive coordinator that's not much older than some of you guys?
I know, it's kind of crazy, man. He's, 27 or something like that. It's crazy, man, to even think about that. But everyone has a journey. Everyone has a process. I admire it a lot, as I would like to get into coaching as well. So just picking his brain, and I think it's nice that he can relate to us kind of guys and how we're living in the best times of our life right now. He can kind of relate to us and kind of let us know what he's been through and the processes that he's endured. And I think it's just nice to pick a guy's brain who's really not that much older than you, and it kind of just shows on the field. You're not tensed up about having an old school type of way. He's kind of just go with the flow. But I love it, man. He has that young energy, and it trickles down to all of us, and we just want to make him proud and make plays.
In a lot of ways, do you think that's kind of helped the transition?
I think so, just because the terminology is the same. He's able to relate to a lot of the quarterbacks, and he's been in our position before. So, when he speaks, people listen, and I think that's a very good trait to have, especially as a young coach. Some people might have the attitude of not listening to a young coach, but I think he relates to the guys very well, and he ultimately puts us in the right mindset to come out here and dominate. And I think that approach is does monumental things for us as players.
And what's the biggest thing you're looking for, I guess, heading into the scrimmage on Saturday for this week in practice?
I'm looking for just the response as an offense, whether it be, we make a 60-yard touchdown, whether it be a interception. I want to see guys respond. I want to see people lose the body language, the negative body language, and just next snap, next play, one snap and clear. I want to see that response, because I think that's what kind of stuck with us last year was, we'd have a couple bad drives and it would just linger on. I want to see guys just turn and flip that switch and next play and go make another play. If we have an interception, who's going to go take the top off and 60-yard bomb? But going into the scrimmage, I want to see us play with physicality, that response, and ultimately just have fun. Thank you guys. Mahalo.